Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutare Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishavana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpadharubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, translation and commentary, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, Canto 7, Chapter 13, the behavior of a perfect person. Texts number 41 and 42. So, which one is on the board there? Yeah, there's no purport to 41. So, I'll just read 41, 42. 41 and the translation, then we'll chant 42. You can repeat, we'll just do one line of the Sanskrit. Kavjit snato niluptangaha savasaha sagrivya lankritaha Rathe bhavaishchare kyapi digvasa grahavad vibho. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. O my Lord, sometimes I bathe myself very nicely, smear sandalwood paste all over my body, put on a flower garland, and dress in fine garments and ornaments. Then I travel like a king on the back of an elephant or on the chariot or horse. Sometimes, however, I travel naked, like a person haunted by a ghost. So we can put 42 on now. Please repeat. Naham ninde nachastomi svabhava vishamam janam ete samstraya asase utaikatmyam mahatmani naham ninde nachastomi svabhava vishamam janam ete samstraya ashase utaikatmyam mahatmani naham ninde na chastomi svabhava vishamam janam ete samstraya ashashe say utaikatmyam mahatmani. So please repeat. Naham ninde, not, aham, I, ninde, blaspheme, no, nor, cha, also, stomi, praise, svabhava, whose nature, vishamam, contradictory, janam, a living entity or human being. Etesham, of all of them. Shreya, the ultimate benefit. Asashe, I pray for. Uta, indeed. Akatmyam, oneness. Mahatmani, in the Supersoul. The Para-Brahman, Krishna. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. Different people are of different mentalities. Therefore, it is not my business either to praise them or to blaspheme them. I only desire their welfare, hoping that they will agree to become one with the Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Please repeat. Different people are of different mentalities. Therefore, it is not my business either to praise them or blaspheme them. I only desire their welfare, hoping that they will agree to become one with the Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Purport Srila Prabhupada. As soon as one comes to the platform of bhakti-yoga, one understands fully the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, is the goal of life. Vasudeva Savamiti Sa Mahatma Sadurlabhaha. This is the instruction of all the Vedic literature. Vedescha Save Aham Eva Vedaha Sarva Dharmam Prijaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Brajaha. There is no use in praising someone for material material qualifications or blaspheming him for material disqualifications. In the material world, good and bad have no meaning, because if one is good, he may be elevated to the higher planetary systems, and if one is bad, he may be degraded to the lower planetary systems. People of different mentalities are sometimes elevated and sometimes degraded. But it is not the goal of life. Rather, the goal of life is to become free from elevation and degradation and take to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a saintly person does not discriminate between that which is supposedly good and supposedly bad. Rather, he desires for everyone to be happy in Krishna consciousness, which is the ultimate goal of life. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mukam karochi vachalam bhangam laite girim yad kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru dinatarinam kavchit nyato nilupthangaha suvasa Sri gra alankritaha radha bhavaschare chapi digvasa grahabad bibho naham ninde nachastomi svabhava vishamam janam etesham shreya ashashe utaikatmyam mahatmani. O my Lord, sometimes I bathe myself very nicely, smear sandalwood upon my body, all over my body, put on a flower garland, and dress in fine garments and ornaments. Then I travel like a king on the back of an elephant, or on the chariot or horse. Sometimes, however, I travel naked, like a person haunted by a ghost. Different people are of different mentalities. Therefore, it is not my business either to praise them or blaspheme them. I only desire their welfare, hoping that they will agree to become one with the Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So, this is the Avaduta speaking. What is an Avaduta? Prahlad Maharaj, he's traveling the universe not to see the sights, but to see the saintly people. That is the heartfelt desire of the devotee. Where is that person, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, with whom I can discuss and realize and glorify Krishna? He doesn't want to just see the sunset. He wants to see the sunset with another devotee and glorify the Supreme Lord. Look at the Lord's creation, how wonderful. And then have a nice kirtan. So the Avaduta here is telling Prahlad, he's coming out of his samadhi and describing his activities. Now, for those that are not Avaduta, Paramahansa Mahabhagavat, we should follow rules and regulations. The behavior of Avaduta should not be artificially imitated, particularly walking naked down the street. If some of you do that, it may not be good for the name of our movement, haunted like a ghost. However, if you feel so when you're a Mahabhagavat, then do so. Because the Avaduta is somebody who is beyond the cares of this material world. The common material etiquette, being dignified, being nice, that the materialists project is just a cover for their selfishness. The Avaduta is not concerned with that. We see here. The Avaduta is only concerned with one thing. When he sees the duality and the range of personalities in the material world, his concern is that they should be elevated to Krishna consciousness. And they should come out of samsara. They should stop being in this cycle of birth and death. Mentioned there the purport, the lower planetary systems, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Talatala, Patala, or the higher planetary systems. We're on Bhumandala. Above us is Bhuloka, Swagaloka, Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. So this is the balance, the most gross plane of the material universe. As you go down, the mode of passion becomes mixed with condensed ignorance, and that is the abodes of the Rakshasa Asura. As you go up, the mode of passion fades out more and more, and it becomes in the mode of goodness, particularly above Swargaloka, the residence of Indradev. So above that there is the Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and then above that the residence of Lord Brahma. But even if we go to any of those places, we're still in the cycle of birth and death. So in the Gita, Krishna says, Dukalayam asashvitam. Arjuna, don't hanker for any goal in this material world. Because it's just Dukalayam, miserable. Even Brahmalok, Brahmalok, he still has the anxiety. He's the manager of the universe, empowered by Sri Krishna. He's still anxious to maintain and engineer the universe. So, and then it is asashvatam. Yes, of course, it is very blissful. That's explained in the Upanishads, that the happiness on the Bhumandala plane is the highest is to have a good wife, healthy family, no anxiety for protection and maintenance. That is like one unit. Is there in the commentary of Baladev Vidyabhushan to the Vedanta Sutra. And then above that, 50 units of happiness is like a young prince in a peaceful kingdom. He has all the opulence and singers and that is like 50 units. But that is like one unit to the 500 units that the Gandharvas enjoy. Singing and beauty and dance and all those things. And then above that it goes up thousands of times up to Brahmaloka. But it is all temporary and it is all material. Ultimately, it's all mixed with material. Ultimately, like Satyalok, it is practically Vaikuntha. But there's 5% Kunta. As you come down, it is more and more Kunta. As you go down into the lower Patala, lowest region above Narak, then that is tremendous anxiety. A place of serpents and rakshasas and demons wanting to dominate. Their happiness is the unhappiness of others. It is explained there in the Bhagavatam that in Narak, there is still some happiness. The happiness is they're all suffering. But the happiness is people are thinking, I'm not suffering as much as him. And look at him, he's suffering. So they're completely confused in illusion, purified the hard way. But we believe in being purified by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And we should make note here that these places are temporary places. And time is flexible there. We're in a certain petal of the universe. Prabhupada explains that all these lokas, they're like different petals on a lotus. And the condition on each petal is different. So it may appear like billions of years, but they're being purified in accordance with their path. And the same thing is going on in the up to Swargalok. Above that, Mahalok, Jnanalok, Tapalok, the sages, they're sitting there in a mode of goodness, and they're realizing Krishna and Vishnu and the layout of the universe and the glories of Krishna in the mode of goodness, and they're progressing. Vasudeva's home. So, however, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, make up your business now in one life. He explained this material world is like a toilet. In a toilet you don't stay, you do your business and go. Jai. Shri Shri Gaurnitai, Krishna Balaram, Radha Sham Sundar, Shri Guru Parampara, Tulsi Maharani, Go Mata, Shalagra Maharaj, Giri Maharaj, Ki Jai. So, Avaduta. What is an Avaduta? In the Vedic literature, as we explain, they are Mahabhagavat. They are beyond compliance. Though they may comply with material etiquette for the purpose, as expounded here, distributing the welfare of all others. Prabhupada used to always sign his letters, your ever well-wisher. So this is very instructive. Though we may be on the platform of sadhana, we should try to adopt this mentality. This is called aroha siddhi, that you, through intellect, you try and copy or imitate this feeling. So it's very instructive. When we see people, we should not look. The tendency is in the material world to look in this dualistic way. I like this one, I don't like this one, this is my friend, this is my enemy. We should be neutral to these material analysis, not praising and blaming, but we should cultivate a sense of mercy. Particularly those that are initiated and that have entered the path of sadhana, they should cultivate this mentality. There are many aspects, unlimited, of Krishna's personality, but for the materially conditioned, the most important aspect of Krishna's personality is his kripa. So the Avadhuta has attained that full kripa. He's become, as it says, one with the Super Soul. What is that verse in the Bhagavatam? Vasudeva Bhagavati bhakti-yoga prayojati jnanitiyasu vairagyam jnanam charyad ahoitikam. One who performs devotional service to Vasudeva, mentioned by Prabhupada, he attains knowledge and detachment. The result of spiritual knowledge is that one becomes detached from this material world. And ahoitikim, jnanam chayad ahoitikim, causeless knowledge. What does that mean, causeless knowledge? It means it's not caused by any material activity, but it is the grace of Krishna. It is the kripa of Krishna. So the accomplished devotee, he is able to contemplate matters of the material and spiritual creation, and by the grace of Krishna, he will get the correct understanding. Oitikim, causeless. It's not material, it's not caused by his intellect or his austerity, it is the grace of Krishna. So this Avadhuta is on that platform. He's communicating with Krishna rather than speculating and trying to work things out. In the Shastra, there are generally the sages, learned people, have put the types of Avadhuta into 4. One is the Brahma Avadhuta. The Brahma Avadhuta is Avadhuta or transcendentally situated from birth. Can you think of anyone? Who? This is specific to a personality, Sukadeva Goswami, right? As soon as he was born, his father is Vedavyas and his mother, great devotee. We think, oh, I don't want to stay here with this material attachment. His father is Shaktavesh, Vedavyas. But he's thinking, this is too much. I'm off. Where's some place that I can discuss Krishna? Sukadeva Goswami. Then there is the Shaiva Avadhuta. Shaiva Avadhuta is like Vedavyas himself. Matted locks, fierce gaze, engaged in tapasya, very sober. You remember in the Mahabharata, Vijayatavira died and they wanted some sons. Amba, Ambika, Ambakali, right? And one was, they were very fearsome. They matted locks and a bit of a loincloth, and I'm supposed to take a child from him. So one became pale, the Pandavas. One closed her eyes, the other one sent a maidservant, Dhritarashtra, and then Vidura were born. So that is the Shaiva Avadhuta. Then there is the Vivara Avadhuta. And that second one, he may be like this. Oh, can't be bothered putting clothes on, let's just lay on the bank of the Jamuna and be immersed in thought of the Leela of Krishna. But the Virava Avadhuta, he is like the Paramahamsa. He may put on cloth, tilak, and he may come down and discuss and give rules and regulations for the mercy and elevation of the fallen souls. So Srila Prabhupada exemplifies that. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. For example, also Avadhuta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the last 6 years of his life, he completely withdrew from material communication. He lived in Puri. He had one servant, Krishnadas, and Krishnadas would cook meals, put before him, clip his nails, cut his hair, take care of the room. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur just sat there in complete samadhi, immersed in the Leela of Krishna. So he'd written hundreds of books and songs and everything, but now I have to put my head at the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna and concentrate and enter their Leela, even though the material body is there. So the fourth Avadhuta is a Kulava Avadhuta. Kulava Avadhuta is the person who may appear just like a ordinary person. There's no external manifestation of his Mahabhagavat, Uttamadhikari status. He may appear just like an ordinary person, but those that are Shastra Chakshus, or those that are in communion with the Super Soul, they can see his position. And an example of that is in Chaitanya Leela, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Right? Mukunda took Gadadha Pandit to see Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and he is Vrishabhanu Maharaj in Krishna Leela, the father of Radha. So he was sitting there on a very silky cloth sofa with nice elaborate candlesticks and flowers and nice cloth, as we've heard. And so Gadadha Pandit thought, Mukunda, why you brought me to see this Vishayi, this sense enjoyer? Mukunda said, wait a minute there, Gadadha. And he recited some slokas in Vatsalya Bhav. Vatsalya means parental mood. So hearing those slokas of parental mood, Pundarik Vidyanidhi immediately entered Prem Bhav. And so then Gadadha Pandit could see, oh my, I've made an offense against a great Paramahamsa. So he took, Gadadha Pandit, Diksha from Pundarik Vidyanidhi, because he considered, I've been an offender to a great Mahabhagavat, and if I take Diksha and become his formal disciple, then I must daily pay obeisances and take the dust of his lotus feet, and that aparad will be overcome. So that is very important. That's why we always chant in the morning, Vaishnav, pranam to Vaishnav. We should do that sincerely, because we are amongst Vaishnavs and we don't want to make offenses, particularly against the Vaishnav, because Krishna doesn't mind if you have fallen condition and you're struggling, that's to be understood. But if you make trouble for other living entities, then Krishna will be disturbed. So when we offer obeisances to Vaishnavas, we should have in our mind, may any offenses inadvertently performed, may that be washed away. We should do we should follow bhakti process sincerely, not mechanically. So, in the Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna explains yes, this is I think chapter 2, chapter 5 verse 24, the internal position of the Avaduta, the Paramahansa Mahabhagavat. Yonya, he explains to Arjuna, Yonya sukho nya aramas tahantara jyotir eva yaha sa yogi brahmanirvanam brahmabhuta nigashyati. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. You've all heard Bahirmukh, Antarmukh, right? People in the material world, they have this material body and they look outward into the material energy for some happiness, and they judge it accordingly, praising and blaspheming and so on. But the Vaishnav is internally composed. He knows that Krishna is not up in the sky. He's not here and there. He's in my heart. And the aim of sadhana bhakti is to perceive the supersoul. Krishna, through Nam Bhajan, is perceived within the heart. And if you read second Vilas of Hari Bhakti Vilas, if somebody is properly initiated sincerely by a Mahabhagavat, then he doesn't actually have Supersoul in the heart, but he has Sham Sundar, Radha Sham Sundar, the whole spiritual world. But he has to wake up to that, his residence within the spiritual world, through his sadhana. And therefore this verse, active within, attention within, rejoicing within, his aim is inward, is very important. When we chant, we want to find the presence of Krishna within the heart. That devotee yesterday was giving a class, right? That is from the Paramahansa Samhita, the 29th chapter of the 11th canto. That yes, the best bhajan is to understand that Krishna is in the heart of all living entities in two ways. He's there as Supersoul, but he's also there as Angsa, Jiva Shakti. The Jiva Shakti is an emanation ultimately from Krishna. It is in the Brahma Samhita that the living entities, they emanate from Baladev and Krishna, and they manifest as the effulgence of Srimati Radharani. So in this way, Krishna is the father and Radha is the mother of the devotees. So the living entity is himself, herself, whatever, an Angsa of Krishna. It is an avatar, it is an expansion of Krishna. Mavai Vamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So to understand that, that will cure us of envy if we are on the path of knowledge and bhakti. So this is very important, that you don't, yes, you can look for Archavigra avatar, you can consider Vishnu, but you should also understand avatar or expansion of Krishna is the person sitting next to you. And you yourself are an expansion of Krishna. So the non-envious Vaishnav, he sees, this is Krishna, this is the devotee, this is the Angsa of Krishna. And what is that verse? Hridayam mayam. Sadhavo hridayam mayam. Yes, second line. that saints are my heart, and I am the only thing in the heart of the sadhu. I know no one but them, and they know no one but me. So, but the Madhyamadikari doesn't think, oh, only the saints are the expansions of Krishna. But here, as this Avaduta is explaining, he's wishing the welfare. So we're on the path of sadhana, at least myself. So we're advised, there are 3 levels of devotees: Kanishtadikari, Madhyamadikari, Uttamadikari. So the sadhaka, properly initiated and situated in Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan Tattva, realization of the Dashamula, he is Madhyamadikari. The first level, Prakrita Bhakta, Prakrita means materialistic devotee. He's not actually Vaishnav. He is called Vaishnav Abhas, semblance of a Vaishnav. Vaishnav Chaya, a shadow of a Vaishnav. Because he lacks tattva. He doesn't know the Dashamula. He doesn't know the 10 primary points of the Vedas, the mulas. So he is not purified by knowledge. Janiti usu vairagyam. Through spiritual knowledge received from the Mahabhagavat Guru, then one becomes detached. And as Prabhupada said in the purport, then he knows that Vasudeva is the goal of life. But the Prakrita Bhakta, he's called Bhakta for one good reason. He is free of monistic conception, in the sense that he does not think that the deity or Krishna himself or the avatars, Lord Shiva and so on, that they are constructions of Maya by the interaction of Brahman in the 3 modes. This is the Panchupashana, this is monistic, this is Mayavad theory. That the form of Krishna is a creation of Maya. Prabhupada in his purport says no. Shankaracharya is actually a covered personalist. Narayano Paro Vyaktat. That is the statement of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya is Lord Shiva. Sent. It's in the Padma Puran. He's told by Krishna, go and construct this Mayavad philosophy in Kali Yuga, accumulated in one place so it can be defeated. But he's really a personalist. What is that? Bhaja Govindam, Mudamate, Nahi Nahi Rakshati, Dukrin Karine. Worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. Emphasis 3 times. Your grammatical jugglery and word knowledge and grammar, that will not save you at the time of death. So the Prakrita Bhakta, he knows, or he has faith, ato shraddha, that the form of Krishna is eternal. He's free from this monistic misconception. But because he doesn't have Sambandha Tattva, Abhideya Tattva, Prayojan Tattva, then he considers, I'm a devotee. Let me give a garland, let me give a donation, and it'll be good for the business. He doesn't know that he should desire what he should desire. So, by the grace of Shraddha, Sadhusanga, Bhajana Kriya, he can receive knowledge from the sadhu on the Dashamula Tattva, the 8 items of Sambandha Tattva, Abhideya Tattva, 1 item, 1 mula, and Prayojan Tattva. And if he is properly instructed, then he can become Madhyamadikari. So this is very important. What will transform you from a Kanishtadikari, materially motivated, attached to the external energy, without knowledge, praising and blaming, good and bad, friend and enemy. What will save you is receiving knowledge in the tattva of the Veda from the spiritual master. Or else you'll stay Kanishtadikari and you'll be prone to stay in the material world, life after life. You may take birth in Vaishnava family, but unless you can come to the Madhya platform, you'll never have the route to Bhava. And this is what the Uttamadikari has. The Madhyamadikari is Shastra Chakshus. He is learned in the Shastra. He's read all the Vedic literatures. He's learnt all the Tattva. He's contemplated the Tattva. And this has purified his vision, his goal, his aspiration. And so he knows, as Prabhupada says, what to desire. I should desire to be the servant of the servant. Naham viprocha narapati naipi vaishana shudra. I'm nothing to do with any material designation. What I am is gopi bhata kamalayo dasa das anudas. And if that's what I am, but I'm not properly conceiving and living in that, I haven't attained Swarup Siddhi, manifestation of my spiritual personality. I'm still immersed in my material conceptions. I'm this body. Then I'm stuck. So let me desire. Let me desire. That is the whole thing. Krishna yetam mam prapadyante. All of them as they surrender. Eko yo dadrati kamam. The Krishna nityo nityanam. There's one supreme eternal conscious, and he fulfills the desire of the living entity. So if you desire to attain bhava, and then within bhava you will realize Krishna. And then when you realize Krishna, you'll realize your Swarup, your relationship to Krishna. But you have to do it on the basis of desire. But you won't be having that desire if you're still materially contaminated, if you're lacking in knowledge. So therefore Prabhupada said, read my books, read my books. I have no objections about my disciples, but they must read my books. Because it is that spiritual knowledge that will transform you from Prakrita Bhakta to Madhyamadikari. He'll make you, Madhyamadikari starts at the platform of Nishta. And then when your Nishta and your Anathas are subdued, then you can get a little Nam Ruchi. And when you get Nam Ruchi and you cultivate Nam Ruchi, at the beginning you'll think, oh, I like chanting, it's tasty. But actually the higher section of Nam Ruchi is that your Ruchi is that I'm performing yagya. Yagya Sankirtana. When I chant, I'm doing this and it's pleasing Radha Krishna. It's pleasing Gurudev. It's pleasing Gaur Nitai. So I'm transforming from the selfishness to the unselfishness. I'm going from Swabhava, my material conceptions, to Swarup by Sevabhav. In the material world, as said before, everyone is thinking, how does this affect me? How can I make a profit out of this? But in the spiritual world, everyone is immersed in Sevabhav. Let me serve the devotees. That is the difference. In the material world, everyone's selfish. In the material world, everyone is unselfish. It's a symbol. In the material world, everyone is a selfish servant of the senses. In the transcendental platform, everyone is an unselfish servant of the Supreme and his devotees. But you can only enter that Vaikuntha Loka, that level, with Sevabhav. As long as you're maintaining material conception, then you cannot enter selfishness. But as soon as you can develop Sevabhav to devotee and Krishna himself, then you can enter Vaikuntha and realize Vaikuntha. So then you will get a Shakti and Bhava and Prem. Then you'll become the Uttamadhikari. Then you'll commune with Krishna directly. So the first business of the spiritual master is to give the Dashamula, the Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan Tattva to the disciple. Because the disciple is not able to commune with Krishna in the heart, so therefore the supersoul in the form of Krishna, Guru, manifests externally and educates. Because the disciple, conditioned disciple, is Bahirmukh. So the Krishna, through his mercy, appears as the Mahabhagavat Guru and instructs the disciple. And then as soon as the disciple is liberated in this way, then the disciple, the Jnanam Chad Ahoitikam, he can receive guidance directly from Krishna. That does not mean he puts aside the Guru. He always stays the servant of Guru. He always hears from the Guru. Because Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, it is not that he's finished with education, but now he is able to sit quietly like active within, rejoice within. He's able to develop his relationship with Krishna. He's able to perceive Krishna. As we say, Krishna is realized in the heart first in the form of presence, in Kali Yuga through Nam Bhajan. Nam Rupa Guna Lila. So within the heart, when you're chanting, you should withdraw. As Krishna says in the Gita, 2nd chapter, just like the tortoise withdraws his limbs within the shell. So the devotee withdraws. First step is griha. All this external paraphernalia, I withdraw my attachment from that. Then deho, I withdraw my attachment to the body. I withdraw my attachment to the mind. I situate myself within consciousness. What is that verse? Brahmabhuta prasanatmana sochadena kankshati samaksarveshu madbhaktim labate. Then he can situate his consciousness in Sevabhav and thereby get conception of Krishna. That is in 2nd chapter of Gita. Let's see, 1 minute. Yes. Arjuna Vacha. Arjuna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit? How does he walk? The Supreme Personality of God said, O Pritha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, who is free from attachment, fear and anger, is called a sage of a steady mind. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in knowledge. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as a tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense object remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he he is fixed in consciousness. So if you don't learn this art of withdrawing your consciousness from the external world when you chant or hear Bhagavatam, if you don't learn this art, then your progress will be very patchy. But if you learn this art, you can overcome material conditioning. The senses, yes, hear Krishna. Krishna knows everything, even though he's a cowherd boy. The credit must go to Nanda Maharaj. The senses are so strong and impetuous, Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. You have to take refuge of Krishna. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. While contemplating the objects of the senses, external contemplation, a person develops attachment for them and repulsion, and then from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises. And then one falls into the material pool. But a person free from all attachment and aversion, able to control his senses through the regulative principles of freedom, can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? As a strong wind. So in this way you can read this contents of Gita summarized. You can read this, but also around this section, you can read this section and read the purports. Prabhupada also puts in one purport, I'll try and find it, the prayer. Yes, here it is. Yes. Madhavendra Puri, as we know, first manifested Prem Bhav in our Sampradaya, Madhavendra Puri. So he wrote, upon attaining, of course, his Nitya Siddha, as we understand, but performed sadhana as an example to us. He wrote one prayer, and he describes this happy position of the Avaduta, who's beyond material cares, situated. So we'll finish with this, your kind attention. Oh, my prayers, 3 times a day, right? That's the mantra we chant. Oh, glory to you. Oh, bathing, I offer my obeisances unto you. O demigods, O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descendant of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, and thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. Srila Madhavendra Puri ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sadhu Sangha ki jai, Sri Radhe Sham Vrindavan Dharma ki jai.